And you do know that as a group, politicians, individuals out there demonstrating in the interest of our democracy and particularly of our judiciary, they say, they certainly are not happy about the petitions that were received in favor of removing the Chief Justice of the Republic. Those petitions were forwarded to the Council of State per Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. The Council of State subsequently found a prima facie, simply meaning that there was a question for the Chief Justice on suspension now to answer. The President received the response from the Council of State, put together the Justice Boahene Committee comprising 5 individuals, and as is stated in the law, 2 of the other members should neither be lawyers. So you have Mr. Domelevo in there, you have Professor Jisa there, you have Justice Boahene chairing, and 2 others. And upon the formation of that committee or commission, the Chief Justice of the Republic, the Lady Chief Justice Toko Nusaki, has been asked to step aside. Well, there have been varied views about that. Some say it is unconstitutional. The GB has spoken. Some say there should be proper rules, especially because this has never happened before, that the Chief Justice has been removed, but the process has been gone through before. So now we get into the conversation. Is this demonstration necessary at all, or is it not necessary? What will it achieve in the final analysis, given the fact that Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, gets to meet the Justice Boahene Committee sometime this week? So let her side be heard. What do you think as a Ghanaian? It's calling of the back and forth, the pull and push, the politicization of the process has been NDC-fied and MPP-fied. That's what we're looking for, trying to build our country and our democracy. Dr. Bernard Tutu-Boahene is here. He is Tutu-Boahene. Tutu-Boahene, yes, Tutu-Boahene. Dr. Bernard Tutu-Boahene is here. Political marketing strategist. Good morning, Doc. Thank you very much for your time. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Johnny.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Great. Is this demonstration necessary?
Yeah, so good morning to listeners and social media followers. I think that, yes, freedom of association, freedom of speech is a constitutional right. So we would say that, yes, it is a right for people to demonstrate at least, especially when they want to register their displeasure on a phenomenon. But again, you may want to find out as to whether in exercising one's freedom, you are doing so, within a set kind of judgment, which probably would be in the interest of the general good. I feel that as far as the protesters are concerned, probably from where they stand, apart from it being their constitutional right, they feel that, yes, it gives them that kind of platform to also communicate their views and probably get the sympathy, of the public. Politics is a contest of public opinion.
Right.
And so probably hitting the streets it may send some level of sympathies, to their camp, and probably people who, let's say, may not be following whatever is happening, may start asking questions, and if, as it were, they are able to communicate well, public sympathy may go to their favor.
Right.
And so, as to whether it is right or wrong, it is about the intended purpose, and then again, what they want to achieve with it. For some of us, for me, Johnny, I have never supported demonstrations.
Oh, why not? It's a democratic right.
Yes, it is. But for me, I feel that there are various ways of killing a cat. Okay, and if you are going to demonstrate, probably I've seen some tweets, heard of some tweets indicating that there has been some resistance from the police, and all that. If you are not careful and it degenerates into something else, that is why I, for one, have not been a fan of demonstrations.
Would you rather that the demonstrators go to court or headed to court?
Yes, for me, I've always supported a peaceful, means of doing things. So if court will guarantee that kind of peace, if writing will guarantee that kind of peace, if a press conference will guarantee that kind of peace, I am in support of it.
I see. So they should go to court.
Why not? At least if you feel that the Constitution is not really good and there is something wrong with the interpretations of it, you go to the court for a better, interpretation, so that at least you have a cause to equally test, the robustness of the Constitution. And if now that we have a Constitution Review Committee in place, if they need to review it, then probably the court will write to them that based on ABCD, we feel that this part of the Constitution should be reviewed. All right. And Johnny, I feel that, one of the legacies that President John Mahama can leave for this country with the resetting agenda and building the Ghana that we all want is to speed up with this Constitution review, the 1992 Constitutional Review, and to probably tackle some sessions of it, and deal with it, okay, so that you have a robust constitution to govern this country. Because I feel that there are so many gaps within this constitution that is giving way for people to behave in certain directions, which are not really Ghanaian. That would also not also help us, build the kind of democracy that we are looking for, and also build that kind of economy that this country can equally be proud of. I think that after using this constitution from 1992, reviewing it, in terms of relevance of the times, is very critical for us, and I think that we should do that as a country.
So now, her leadership, the Chief Justice, is to appear before the Justice Poaman Committee sometime this week. She had previously given her responses in writing to the President of the Republic. Some people say they have seen it. Well, I haven't seen it. I have not seen the petition as well. I don't want to see it because I want to follow the dictates of the 1992 Constitution that says that all of this must happen in camera and, shielded from the eyes of the public. So if she will have the opportunity to appear before the commission and also tell her side of the story, why is anybody jumping the gun by going onto the streets to demonstrate to say you are attacking the judiciary when the full matter has not been heard?
You see, when a constitution, or let's say when one is acting in accordance with the constitution, then probably we cannot say it is an attack, right? Because if the person as it is following true and true with the Constitution, then probably it will be wrong for somebody to say that the person is using, the Constitution as a weapon to attack the judiciary. Referring to Article 146, it spells out, the processes and procedures that a Chief Justice can be removed. And I think it's specified about one other person. I think tribunal.
Yes, tribunals, Chief Justice and Justice of the Supreme Court. Yeah.
So those are the procedures in there. Unless maybe President Mahama is seen as probably not following what is in there, then probably we can say that yes, he's using certain powers and authority, to attack the judiciary. But I think if you follow the storylines and whatever is happening, I think that President Mahama has not gone out of order, in terms of Article 416. But again, Johnny, facts are facts, and when you, I think in law we have implicit and explicit, interpretations. What Article 416, the procedures, can be implied, in there. And you see, you were talking about not, you are not interested in knowing the petition, right? Okay. But for purposes of accountability, at least when the Attorney General, is it Dr. Ayini?
Dr. Dominic Ayini,
resumed. He has indicated to us that there are certain cases he would put the facts, into the public space.
But that is not based on the removal. I mean, I'm talking about...
No. I'm just making a point. I'm just making a point. Yeah. So he had indicated that there are certain cases he would put the facts in there, at least for accountability.
That's right.
For people to equally follow what is happening.
That's right.
Because we are all interested parties, isn't it? Yeah. So knowing what is happening will be very much important for us. And in the same way, the Chief Justice issue is of interest to Ghanaians. And that is where I find a bit of Article 416. 146, not being accountable to Ghanaians. All right. So a petition, when Article 146(1) or 2 talks about the petition, right? The misconduct, and all those things. So when a petition has been filed as a result of misconduct or otherwise, okay, then what it means is that at least the public should know what the Chief Justice has done and has done wrong. You see, that permits, her suspension or removal from office. Now, what the Constitution has done is that just give it to the President. All right. And once you give it to the President, it is the President that will deal with it. It is an issue of disclosure, isn't it? So the President, the Constitution allows that it should not be put, that petition should not be put in the public space. All right. So that's where you talk about in camera, right?
That's right.
Now, when that happens, we don't really know, because, like I said, governance is a contest of public opinion.
That's right.
Okay. So the public is no longer aware of what the Chief Justice has done wrong. All right. But if the petition is there, and we know that we have used your power, excessively, to do A, B, C, D in contravention of, whatever you are supposed to be doing, then of course you are at fault. All right. And if per the values of the Chief Justice, you have not lived that kind of decency, of course, who is going to sympathize with you? But when people don't have information, speculations take over. Okay, grapevines. And what it means is that people will begin to read meanings.
But in the minds of the framers of the Constitution,
yeah,
they thought that, look, until you are, and it's a maximum of our justice system, a maximum of equity, that and the rule of law, that look, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. But so that in this context, people will speculate, people will say all manner of things. But because the documents are not out there and the details of the responses and all the things are not out there, it is easier for you to say the Chief Justice went before the committee, the Justice Poorman Committee, she acquitted and discharged herself, she has her job back. Yeah. And that settles it.
Yeah.
If you ever throw the petitions in there, you throw everything out there into the public domain, right? It then starts to raise the concern as to, okay, did she do something wrong? Did she not do something wrong? And then if the committee, for example, says, go back and go and do your work, people will then start asking, but we read this, we don't think that she should have come back. And then you would have actually put the judiciary in a certain balance that they should not be. Don't you think so, sir?
No, I actually don't think so. Because for me, if let's say you are arrested on an offense, all right, you are charged. And people sometimes get to know the reasons why you have been arrested.
Right.
And the reasons why you are going to be put before courts. And in there, you know, when you are found culpable, the necessary, punishments will be put out to you, and then you find yourself wherever you are supposed to be.
Right.
You know, if the court discharges you, of course you have the liberty to come home.
Right.
But that does not take anything away from the fact that because you were arrested and taken to the courts,
right,
and all that, you are at fault. You understand? I think that it even proves your innocence,
right,
and it even enforces your image and credibility, you know, better than, you know, any other thing. So for me, yes, a charge has been preferred against you.
Right.
All right. You went through the processes and procedures, and you were discharged. You know. What does it mean? It means that the Chief Justice, you have that kind of credibility and image, all right? And that is where even the public trust in you, you know, it will begin to soar.
In your view, is the judiciary under any form of attack?
That's why I'm saying that per the Constitution, right? And whatever is happening, I don't see it, okay? But what I don't want to see is that you open up a space, you know, for posterity, you know, to chart that same path wrongly one day. All right. Now, remember that knowledge keeps increasing.
Right.
What I didn't know in 2020, 2016, now I know.
Right.
All right. Now, in years to come, our children who are growing, they will know better,
right,
than we do.
That's right.
All right, because of the you know, the advancement in technology and all that. Now, what does it mean? Probably there's going to be a government one day that will see Article 146, you know, and use, you know, the dictates in there, you know, to do worse things, you know, and it is the country that is going to suffer. And so that is where I believe that, in spite of everything, all right, whether the president, in fact, this morning on TV3, I think myself and Dr. Rashid Computer,
right,
we were talking about the discretionary, you know, powers of the president.
Article 296 of the Constitution.
Yes, and which you see a bit of a reflection in Article 146.
Right.
All right. Now, what I see differently in Article 146 is the fact that the president is insulated. The president, you know, can separate himself from the processes and procedures. All right. Now, what it means is that if the president is going to form a committee out of the Council of State, all right, and the president still has the power, to nominate the chair for that committee, obviously it gives room for some questioning, all right. Again, if it is the president who is going to receive the petition and then give it to the committee, again, some kind of questions in there, all right. And if the committee, is going to sort of act and probably establish a prima facie, against the Chief Justice, all right, so many unexplained questions in there.
Right.
Coming from who set up the committee, who appoints the chair of the committee, and all that, all right. And who says that probably looking at the direction that our politics is going, people cannot hide behind certain elements to put up a petition. Now, these are things that, Johnny, going forward, I feel that, you see, if you want to have a very credible democracy, a solid democracy going forward, 146, we need to.
So that the petitioners are known publicly.
They are known.
Okay.
The petition itself is also known for purposes of accountability.
Right.
A time should be given to the Chief Justice, to respond before the committee is even set.
All of that was done. I said the identity of the petition and then the petition and the contents therein.
Okay.
But then,
fine.
But
I
then
know that
the timeline
yes.
for, in fact, the Chief Justice asked for 7 days.
Yes.
And the President gave her 10 days to respond to it.
I think she equally responded. Right.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah. But I think that we can deepen it further. All right. I'm not a lawyer. I'm here to consider the idea of even going to a law school. But I feel that, you see, from a common sense perspective, all right, in terms of building a very strong democracy for posterity, we need to look at some of these things before, the next generation begin to blame some of us for not taking the right decisions for them.
In closing this conversation, the demonstrators are out there on the streets. The committee is yet to have her leadership, the Chief Justice, appear before them for her to be heard. In fact, somebody would argue that her responses are already known, but of course, because the meeting is going to be in camera, there are going to be some other more flesh added to the bones of the response that she put out there. Now, we also do know that the President is waiting on the committee to finish his work for him to know whether to move forward and say, Madam, come and take back your job, or please go home and go and sit down forever. In the meantime, the Ghanaian public are torn, between the two opinions. Some have now slipped in political ideologies that, this is NDC and this is MPP and this is the ideologies that they hold. How do we weave both together? Because at the end of the day, in the final analysis, we're trying to build a nation. And we cannot build a nation if we have polarized positions,
Exactly.
if we are holding on to, left and right and leaving the middle open.
Yeah.
How do we weave both together in closing?
So, Johnny, you see,
Sunrise on 3FM.
I feel strongly that the culture of democracy that we are building, unfortunately, is bringing this level of polarization in our body politics. And everything is becoming politics now. And I still will use your platform, to echo this point that state institutions should be independent from political influences. State institutions must be independent and should be allowed to exist and then work, independently. I feel that, you see, this whole scenario that, you have framed into a question, more or less, is because of the excessive powers of both NDC and MPP,
right,
that they exhibit any time that they are in power. All right. And when you take a decision, it is because that decision is going to go against your opponents. All right. Once you are in power and you are taking a decision, whether the decision is going to benefit the states or not, people feel that, yes, you are taking it, because of your opponents.
Right.
And that is where I feel that we are headed for trouble one day.
Right.
And this whole scenario should be changed. Then it takes one person to have boldness and confidence, to change a direction. Okay, so we've seen it in the likes of Malaysia. You've seen it in the likes of South Korea. You've seen it in the likes of this country. Okay, so many countries, right? Some of them, people have taken strong decisions, to change certain dynamics, all right? And I feel that, look, President Mahama should have that kind of confidence. Yes, right. I was just trying to think about Burkina Faso. All right. Now, look, I think President Mahama, when he came to office, I think he visited Burkina Faso.
Sunrise on
Right.
3
Right.
FM.
Yes.
The best
Why?
in the morning.
Because those days,
In fact, even before he became president, he visited most of the countries that, have had political unrest, and they came to his inauguration.
yes, yeah. But I'm talking about when he came.
Right.
All right.
In
Now,
fact, he's out there in Burkina Faso.
yeah, he's even gone there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you see, those days Burkina Faso president will always come to Ghana. All right. Now you see,
Sunrise on 3
for me,
FM. The
right,
best in the morning.
the second term of President Mahama, as he has described it himself, is a legacy era. All right. And so, for me, he should put his foot down. He should have control on his decisions,
Right.
governance decisions, and be able to leave legacies for this country. All right. Now, you see, this whole issue of politicization, is killing us. It has become, how do you call it? A canker.
So what do we do about it?
So what I feel we should do is that everything starts with the man in authority.
Okay. So he should do what? He should stop applying the law, or
No,
he should not let the process
Because
go through?
you cannot say that you are not going to apply the
Because
law.
that suggestion has been made to him by a law lecturer who suggests that those things are put there. Sorry, forgive me. Those things are put there in the Constitution, just in writing, the letter of the Constitution. But in practice, I'm sure you heard that argument being made on another radio station.
Then he wants him to become a dictator, right?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, this has never been done before anywhere in the world, and so it should not be done. The removal of the Chief Justice, that is.
Yes, it was even today. I think I made a point and I was corrected that this is the first time something of that sort is happening. And if that is so, and the president has that discretionary power, okay, I think that he should use it to the best, of his judgments, right? And not to leave a legacy where posterity would take undue advantage of Article 146.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Bernard Tutu-Boahene. We're grateful that you could join us here this morning. It's on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Palgrave Wachidankwa, Dr. Palgrave Wachidankwa. Good morning to you, my good friend. Have a good one. We'll take a quick one. We'll return from this break. I'm sure there's more that we can talk about before we quickly wrap up with birthdays for you here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
My mom means everything to me. She's always been there for me.